How did you know you were good enough to sell your art? How long did it take for your art business to be able to sustain you financially? What are the most important aspects of your branding? I'm going to be answering some of your most asked questions in this video. I posted on Instagram and YouTube to get your questions, and I got some really good ones, so let's get into it. How did you know you were good enough to sell your art? So my first painting ever was a portrait of my mom for Mother's Day, and when I gave it to her, she literally loved it, so I started gifting paintings to my other friends and family. Then one day my friend asked me to make a painting and offered to pay me, and basically that was the day that I knew I was good enough to sell my art. I didn't expect anyone to offer to pay me for my work at the time, and I did that commission, my first commission ever, for like $100. But from that moment on, I had the confidence to continue selling my work. What made you decide to take art seriously? So I started painting while I was a student in university, and I hated my economics program, and painting really helped with my mental health. And then one day I saw someone online who was selling these like silhouette paintings, like just black and like one color. And I was shocked that they were able to turn that into a business because they look so basic to me. Like, no offense to that person, but like I thought, if they can sell those, then I can sell my paintings. So that's what made me start taking my art seriously, because I realized that I could turn it into a business. And since I didn't want to be an economist, being an artist was the only thing I was passionate about, so I decided to go all in. What are some of your favorite paintings you've ever made? This is a good question because I have so many. My favorite though is probably my Rihanna portrait. I actually first made this for a live painting event back in 2019. I painted it in about 3-4 hours, but I had to give it away as part of the event. But I loved it so much that I repainted it. The pink in this painting is my favorite color, and I love Rihanna for her artistry and business mindset, and I don't think I will ever sell this painting. My second favorite is probably my Love Yourself collection. This series of 3 paintings means a lot to me because it kind of represents the start of a new era in my artistic journey. I've historically painted a lot of celebrity portraits, but I started to feel like I wanted to create more inspirational, original artwork, and this series was kind of birthed from that. It represents empowerment, self-love, and mindfulness, which are things that I really care about in my personal life. So I don't think I will ever sell this collection either. Maybe for 6 figures though, I don't know. If I get a really good offer, I might consider it. But yeah, those 2 pieces are my favorites. Speaking of self-love and empowerment, this video is sponsored by Ana Luisa, and they sent me some amazing jewelry to try for the holiday season. I love wearing gold jewelry, and these pieces just make me feel so elegant. They actually sent me this M necklace back in May, and I literally wear it every day. Like, I don't take it off. So I'm super excited for these new pieces. They're actually having an end of year sale until the 10th of January. These will be perfect gifts for your loved ones. I actually gifted their heart necklace to my mom for Mother's Day last year, and she loves it.
Thank you. You're welcome. Wow. So, yeah.
Plus, Ana Luisa is a carbon neutral company, so I love that they're thinking about their impact on the planet. So check out the link in my bio for 20% off and get you a high quality piece of affordable jewelry. Now, let's answer the next question. How long did it take for your art business to be able to sustain you financially? So I started my business in 2015 while I was still a student. Then when I graduated in 2017, I went into it full time, but I also went back home to live with my parents. So I wasn't making a lot of money, but I didn't have a lot of expenses either. So like I didn't pay rent or a car loan or anything like that. But my business continued to grow because I reinvested all the money that I made back into the business. Like I bought a printer, I hired freelancers and employees, and although I still live with my dad right now, I officially started making a full-time income in around 2020. But I'm continuing to play it smart and have low expenses and reinvest most of my money. So to this day, I'm still putting majority of my money back into the business. So it took about 5 years to become financially stable, but 2 of those years were part-time because I was still in school, and then 3 of those years were full-time working on the business. So it does take some time, y'all. It doesn't happen overnight, but it is definitely worth it. What's your favorite thing in your shop? So my favorite thing in my shop is definitely my Love Yourself hoodie. This hoodie, y'all, this hoodie is like my child. So first of all, it took a whole year to create and launch this hoodie. Like that's a whole story for another day. It took way longer than I expected to make this. But I sourced this really unique vintage wash pink material. And this shade of pink is like my favorite color. And like I said, my Love Yourself painting is one of my favorites too. So a lot of thought and hard work went into making this hoodie. And they've sold out since. So shout out to all my customers who got one. I love you guys. What are the most important aspects of your branding? Okay, this is a good question. So this is a really big topic, but overall, I would say that my story and like my message of who I am as an artist and what my work represents is the most important aspect of my branding. So things like the reason why I started painting and the impact that I want my art to have on my community. If you want to hear my whole story, check out this suggested video and let me know in the comments if you want me to do like a full video just about branding, because there's a lot to talk about. Like I could definitely make a whole series even just about branding. But yeah, that's definitely the most important part. Like know your story and know your values as an artist. What are your motivations to do art and how do you get inspired to create? So, like I said earlier, like art really saved my mental health. Like my econ program at school was literally making me depressed. Like I just didn't want to go to class, wanted to stay in bed, and like painting gave me a passion that I never knew I had. Like I literally started painting for the first time in school. So my biggest motivation is to inspire other creatives who don't believe that they can become successful artists. Because when I was a kid, first of all, I didn't even think that being an artist as a career was possible. Like it sounds crazy now, but as a kid, like it just wasn't something that I saw around me in my life. And that's how I ended up in economics in university, because I thought that a corporate career was the only path to success. And this mindset is common in a lot of marginalized communities like the Black community. So my inspiration comes from my culture and other successful Black creatives. And that's why I highlight them so much in my work, because representation is so important. Like our brains need to see to believe that something is possible. So I want to create art that helps to change the narrative and empower people to feel more confident, represented, and hopeful about themselves and their passions, because that's what I needed, and I know so many people in society struggle with this too. Wow guys, those were some really good questions. Thanks to everyone who submitted a question. I didn't get to all of them, but let me know if you want me to do a part 2. And don't forget to check out Ana Luisa for some awesome jewelry. Use the link in the description below to get 20% off for their year-end sale. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.